All of the worst things in my life started during the transition phase between 2019 and 2018. 2018 was the very first year I developed my passion for YouTube. 2019 was the year when I first found out that YouTube really can make a career out of it, and YouTube really pays you something, and people live an extraordinary life through YouTube. And slowly, I started to degrade. And so, if you're not really connected to me, or if you are really not giving a shit about who I am, then this video is not for you. This video is going to be long. This video is going to have multiple things in it. This video is going to have ups and downs in it. Maybe downs just. I don't have many ups after 2018 or 19. So until 2017, a very bright kid. I used to be among the first 3 in my class. I was really that bright. But do I even, really like studies? No. I was just studying because my mom wanted me to study. Until 2017, 2018, my mom used to, sit beside me, make me study. And it was just like I had a gun over my head and I had to study. And Aryan really studied at that point because I had nothing in my life. I did not have extraordinary friends. I did not have extraordinary passion towards sports. Even when I used to play sports, I was not good at it. I was not good at, playing cricket, playing basketball, playing any other sports. Running, I was not good at any other sports. Not at all. And so I was really shit at it. And so it really, got me bored. And so there was only one thing I could do, which was study. I did not really ever loved studying, or I was really passionate about, being a topper or getting that limelight. I wasn't really interested in that thing. But my mom was really interested. She wanted her kid to be the best. And that's why she really made me study, like go through the line and line shit. And I really studied. On 2019, I got my first ever phone. My mom got her first ever phone, and I discovered YouTube. Until 2018, I did not even know there was something like Google. There was something that you can search something on. I don't know. I'm just a normal guy from town, and I don't know anything about this internet things. Just think about Mark Zuckerberg developed 2006 or 7 when he developed Facebook, and I don't even know about internet until 2018. So I discovered YouTube for some time, and I initially started to see roast videos, and I started to see commentary channels, and I went through multiple gaming channels and live streams, and this was my content for YouTube. Games and content, this and this thing. In 2018, I just developed an extraordinary amount of passion for YouTube. And I don't even know that, YouTube can do something in your life. I just wanted to create. And I so created a small little channel, which was named as Tea with Aryan, where I just spoke about random topics. I don't know what editing was. I don't know anything. I was just randomly uploading videos. Later, I created a channel with my friend in the transition phase between 2018 and 19. We prepared multiple skit videos. I directed it because I was, the back-end brain kind of the guy, because I really loved these things. And so slowly over time, I was really developing that passion. I was really developing that love. We did not even care about earning money, or we do not even care about business or careers about this. We were just kids doing it for fun. And then later, 2019 turned out to be my YouTube scared or YouTube frightened year. The way this entire thing happened is, I created a video about one of our classmates. The classmate was a female girl, okay? And she was the class monitor. She was really, I won't say a good one, okay, as in a character. It's subjective, but yeah, I never really thought that she was the greatest character. And so I made a video about her. That video suddenly went viral among the schoolmates. And I was called down. I was like, scolded in front of principal. I was scolded in front of multiple teachers. The girl started to play like a victim card. I won't say a victim card, but yeah, when somebody makes a roast video on you and they just said your name, you're dead. And that was the biggest mistake. I said her name in the video and I spoke some rubbish language in that video. And so what happened is, people came up on me. And so as all of the heads of the college, heads of the school coming up to me, like the teachers, professors, whatever you say, they were all against me. The girl was against me and some of her friends. But other than that, the whole school just thought that, I was this vigilante, Robin Hood, Batman of the school. And so that boosted my ego, and I never took that video down until shit turned into a turmoil. Okay, my parents were called and multiple shit, and so I just deleted that video. Later on, I just stopped watching YouTube because I was just afraid. I was just scared. I don't want to face ever that shit again. This is the very first time when I faced depression in my entire life. I was never really that depressed kid. I never even know the word depression until that point. But that time I just felt this weird feeling that, you are being suppressed, oppressed. You just don't feel like living. That was the first time I felt it. 2020, the lockdown year, the COVID-19 year. It was my board exam. It was the 10th standard, the big standard in India. And I was not able to do any shit. I was locked down. And at that point, during the lockdown phase, many people developed new skills, many people developed new businesses, and multiple things happened during COVID. As it was turning a turmoil as a disease, but as an opportunity, it was just amazing. Many people thrived due to COVID, and many people got into new careers, new fields, new skills, whatever you say. It was a great time to be the person you want to be. But I was stuck with my parents, and as my parents knew what I did previously with YouTube, they were strictly against it. And at that point, I was just a dumb kid. So at the end of 2020, if you would have shown my photo to anyone, they would have said that this kid is a degenerate kid. All the brightness, even though I used to study with a gunpoint on my head, even though I only used to study when exams were near, I even lost that brightness from my head. I was no more really that kid who had that spark in him to do anything. 2020 turned out to be that year for me. Constantly staying with my parents 24/7 and being oppressed again and again turned out to make me that depressed kid once again. I won't say depressed, but the degenerate kid who lost all of his skills that he previously had. Due to lockdown, there were no seriousness in his life. So even he used to study for those exams were just now online, and so he can copy and he can do anything. So 2020 was the year when I turned fat. That was the year when I turned 116 kgs. You can just imagine a 15-year-old kid, 116 kgs. Then came the year 2021. It was a big announcement, a very big announcement with some music DJs, okay? I won't say I'm just saying, hypothetically exaggerating the situation, but consider my mom and dad announced it everywhere that we are going to this big city in India where we'll get our kid into a coaching classes, the best coaching. He want to be a doctor. I never wanted to be a doctor, but due to all of this peer pressure shit, I said, yeah. And understand that I was not now saying no to any of my parents' things because I had that back depression of the video that I made about my class monitor. And due to that, I was not really able to say that, Dad, I want to do YouTube for my life. Why? Because, you did shit with YouTube last time. And so, even though, even just forget that 2019 nightmare, even though, 15-year-old kid coming up to you, you are the parent and saying that I want to follow YouTube as a career, you would slap that guy and you will say that, shut down, start to study. Okay? Simple. That's what you would say as a parent. And that's what probably even I would say. Because my parents had no knowledge about YouTube. And so I never even, got that courage inside me to speak it to them. And that's why I chose whatever field they love for me. Because I always thought that, my parents at least had some sort of knowledge that they were getting me into doctor's field. They might have seen something inside me. But we forgot that I was a degenerated piece of shit after 2020. That lockdown, which turned people's life positively, had actually turned my life negatively. And so 2021, I got into this big coaching. Now, you know what happens in this coaching? People are already inside it since 2018. So what happens is there are 4-year coaching classes, there are 2-year coaching classes. I was the one who was just in that new city, that big city for 2 years. Whereas people were doing that course for 4 years to prepare for that one exam. And so it's obvious that they already know something good than you. They already are brighter than you. They already are more knowledgeable than you. And so, whenever you sit with them in your class, you feel like you're the most shit person in the world. Because before even the professor finished the sentence, they were ready with their answer. And second, the professors just start with this level instead of starting from this level. They never really think about us degenerates. They just think about the top people. So they start from the top and they just stretch above the top. So they never care about taking a degenerate to the top level. They just think about a top guy to stretch him out and be him that 1% guy. Okay, that's what the goal is. That's what the goal of coaching is. They just focus on this percent of the people. They don't focus on this big degenerated fools. They just consider them as the source of, money or asset or whatever you say, funds. This is the funds. This is what they get results from. That's what happens. In 2022, they really shifted the batches. So a topper batch, a star batch, and a piece of shit batch. You get 1 or 2 results from the piece of shit batch, but the major result of the coaching depends on the star batch. And that's what happened. And I was slowly losing my entire interest, and I was just more into YouTube. But these were the years where I was a shit person. I was not even studying and I was not even following YouTube. Same went on for the years, I'll say you. But yeah, I was not even focusing on YouTube. I was not even focusing on studies, and I was just turning out to be more shit. Getting on more weight. In 2022, I got typhoid 2 times because I was eating outside food, street vendors, random food. And so I got 2 times typhoid back to back within 2 months. Very shit condition. I was admitted twice. I lost a bit weight, but I again gained it. Just within 30 days, I was again back to 116. But anyways, 2023 comes. It was my 12th board exams. I had to nail them. So I first time went to the school. I had a dummy school, by the way. So you don't have to go to school. They just take your present. They just take a bit more money. They have all tied up with the coaching, and this is what happens. And that even played a big role in my entire routine, because my entire routine was shit. My coaching was at evening, and my mom and dad took the dummy school because they thought, Aryan would wake up in the morning, early morning, study, and then go to coaching in the evening, and then again, a very great child, a very great routine. But they forgot I was a degenerate. So I never really woke up in the early morning. I was waking up at 12, 1, going to coaching at 3, coming back home at 7, sleeping at 9. This was my routine. I wasn't even doing YouTube at its full pace. And even if I was doing YouTube, I was just consuming content, like how a degenerated person would. That's what happened. 2023, my exams went decent. But then came my coaching, my big exam, the NEET, the competitive exam why I was in that big city. That was in May. And I lost everything at that point. I was a fat guy, 116 kgs. I know I'm pressing on it again and again, but you don't know what that weight is. You don't know what the shame that weight carries with it. Like one day I was just randomly feeling water down in my apartment, and a lady came to me and asked that, "Oh, you're married, where's your wife?" And I was like, "Bro, what the hell are you talking about? I'm 17. Okay, what the hell are you talking about?" So this is what 116 kgs get you to. So after that, I just felt depressed. I just felt giving up. And this was the time when I straight up went to my parents and said that I cannot do this shit anymore. I don't want to give this exam. YouTube is what I want to do with my life. Even if I fail, even if I pass, even if I earn multiple $1 million, even if I stay broke, I will do YouTube till the day I die. Simple. I just said it to them. And I said, if you can support me, please do. If you can't, bye-bye. I'm living your life. Well, they still said no. And they still said for me to focus on my exam, that big competitive exam that was coming. And well, I never focused on it. And so the result was obvious. I got into no big colleges, no government colleges, no semi-private colleges, nothing. I had to even switch the course. Now, there were two options. Either you take any random shit course or you go and take a dropout. And that's where shit turned. in May 7 was my that competitive exam, which obviously as soon as I gave that exam, everybody around me knew that, even I myself knew, my mom and dad knew that, Aryan is not scoring. And so obviously I did not score. In 15 days, we had to shift back to our hometown, the town where we shifted, 2 years ago for my studies, for my higher studies. We went back to that hometown. Now this time we bought an apartment over there. Now this was our very first apartment. And if you don't know, for a middle class person to have their very first apartment is a very heart touching thing. It's like your own house. This is your own brick. Okay. You can stay in it for your entire life. That was that very first house for us. And we bought it. We were really happy to shift it back. Obviously there were a bit depressing time that Aryan has not passed in his exam. And there are multiple other things that Aryan wants to do, YouTube and career related programs. As soon as I shifted into that house, everything started to shatter at my feet. My mom and dad turned against me. It was a weird environment in the house. Everybody just comes up, says random shit to my face, goes away. Random people, random relatives, random neighbors coming to our house just to say shit to me on my face, and I cannot reply because I was a degenerate. And leave me. Simple. Can you understand what goes through a person at that point in his life when everybody just comes to him, says shit about him, says how shit he is, and just leaves him at that point. Same. My mom and dad did the same. Even my mom stopped talking. Like it was like an environment in the house when someone has died. That weird atmosphere that has entire house covered in. When a person dies, that was the environment. Nobody was talking to me. And even if people were talking to me, they were just saying shit that, how shit you are, Aryan. This is what was happening. I got depressed. And still, my mom and dad say completely no. That no, Aryan, you cannot, you cannot do YouTube. This is what they were saying. And this is what happened for 2 or 3 months until my results were announced. And yeah, obviously I did not score. Not even good enough. Bad, I would say. Bad result. So later, there were only 2 options, as I said. Take any shit course or take a dropout. I didn't want to take. I wanted to drop out. I wanted to do my YouTube. Or any course that was related to filming and, direction or something like that. Film school maybe. But parents didn't agree. And they were forcing me to take a dropout. And I was just done with my life at that point. Because everybody was against me. I cannot follow my passion. I cannot do anything that I want. And people want to take my life in their way. Whatever way they wanted Aryan to go, Aryan had to go that way. And this is the point where that announcing thing we did back in 2021 just turned their ass towards me. Like, I can't even say it in words, like it turned back to us. The things we announced back in 2021 with full confidence that, Aryan, we are going here, we will be a doctor, we announced it. Now it was turning back onto us in 2023 when we are back in our hometown. People were saying, oh, your kid was going to be a doctor. Oh, he must have scored good. What is the score? Everybody came to me, said multiple shit things. Consoling me. Like I have just lost a big battle in my life. I never really cared about that exam. But the way people acted after that exam made me feel so shit that I was really questioning my existence. Should you even be alive at that point, Aryan? And slowly, depression took over me. I did not even know it was called depression at that time. People saying shit to me. My parents not talking to me, ignoring me, not listening to me about my passion. Relatives, neighbors, friends, nobody. I could not face anyone. Because my parents announced everywhere. Aryan, you are going to be a big person. You are going to be a doctor. Look, our kid is going to be a doctor. Just think about how much pressure that kid would have. And so I decided to do the worst thing that is possible. I cannot say it because I think YouTube will ban or something like that. So I'll just do a simple action and understand what I tried to do. Okay? Do you understand? Like, you understand? I tried to do that. So on one random night, I decided to go on the terrace, the top terrace. Okay? And remember this entire condition is really important to change my life even by 1%. It's really important. Now is the things that happened that really sort of changed me as a little bit, but it just brought me above that depression or that degenerated point. Okay, now is that point. Okay, so I was up on the terrace. I was just looking down, that from the terrace. Okay, how deep is it? How down is it? Okay, how low the ground is, checking the air before collision. I did that thing for 3 days, constantly going up at 3 a.m., just sitting on the terrace because I did not have that courage enough, to end the things. 4th day, I was just done with everything. I was just done with YouTube. I even wrote something, and then I went up. And I looked down and I was like, okay, Aryan, now is the time. Okay, there's nothing more going to be better in your life, and even if there is, it's not you to be deserving those things, because you are a really shit person, you are really a degenerated person, and you cannot do anything in your life. You cannot fulfill your parents' wishes, you cannot fulfill your wishes, you cannot fulfill your passion, you cannot do anything in your life. Simple. And so I went up, and I just thought, I even remember that point. It's weird, okay? Now I laugh at that point. Now I think how naive I was to even do all of those things. But yeah, I did that. So what I did is, I thought, I took some few steps back. So consider this is the terrace wall and I have to, so I took a few steps back, and then I was like, if we run and if we then go Superman shit like this down with her head, okay, with her head down, then the collision would impact your head and it would be a easy, okay, no pain, no, like zero pain, okay, okay. So it was like go down and head goes watermelon shit, okay. So that was the plan, that from terrace you go running and then you fly like Superman and boom. That's the plan. I go back. I know this shit seems so fake when I say it, but that happened. I don't know how that shit happened. I know this sounds like the most fake shit, but it happened. I go back. I run. It is May, okay? Remember, it's May. It's May when we shifted back. And after 2 weeks or 1 week, I was just done with the shit. So I go. I slip. In May, how the fuck? There was a little spot of water. I did not face it when I was just roaming around in the terrace. I only faced water when I was running down to jump. And I slipped. I slipped like shit. And I slipped onto this left portion. So I went like this. And so I was taking my left leg like this, and then it slipped. So I fell badly onto my left hip. And I thought like I broke it or something, because it was really painful. Really. And you don't know what 116 kgs slipping on his ass feels like. Okay. Like, I understand that, Aryan, that would pain too, but that was like the done moment, okay? After that point, I wouldn't exist, right? But I'm still existent at that point. So I was just really crying, bro. I was crying with like this hand on my face, because I do not want my voice to go everywhere. Because I don't want people to hear that, I was trying something like this. I was failed brutally at doing it. I don't want people to know. So I was crying with, a face on my head. It's really a very shit moment in my life. I cried a lot. And then I looked at the moon. It was some half shit moon, okay? It was not full moon. It was not no moon. It was just some half shit moon. I don't even know what that moon is. I looked at it And I said, I don't know why this shit happened, but if it happened, it must have happened for a reason, and I respect that reason. And then I was just so emotional because, you know, when you are trying to take a step like this, there are multiple emotions going in your head. And so when you do that, you are like done with your life, you know. And when something just tweaks in between, some things just change, you just throw out all of your emotions. I was just crying like a baby at that point. I don't even know what my life's meaning was, why one was alive. You don't know what emotions go at that point. I was just crying, looking towards that moon, and I was crying. And then I stood up and I was like, these are the 5 goals. I said it literally. Those 5 things that I wanted in my life, I said them loudly. And I said it is 2023 May, okay? I said 10 years from that, even if a single small thing in any of these 5 goals is left, we'll meet again after 10 years at that same spot and we'll do the same thing. Okay, I don't care if I develop so much, but even if 1% of those 5 goals is left, we will be back here. And I'm just saying this looking at that moon, okay? Not shouting because I don't want people to know. So I was just saying it simply, and that was the point where I was, you know, done. Okay, done now. And I went back, I slept. Okay, from that day I never tried doing that shit, but yeah, I really did try some attempts. Okay, so I have faced shit in my life. Then I went back to home, and the next day I told my parents that, you know, I'm going to take dropout and I'm going to study for the exam. That's what I said then. But I never really studied. I was still a degenerated piss. If you think that, you know, this was a turning moment in main character's life, then no. This was not the turning moment. That did not change my entire life. I was still the same shit guy till 2024 when I again gave that exam. But this time, my parents were agreeing with me that you can do whatever you want to do with your life, because this way you will just waste your life and you will just waste our money. Okay, so better start to do your shit. Whatever you want in your life, do it. They agreed. Okay, after 2024's May, when I gave that exam for a second time. And this time again, I did not score because the entire time I was just shitting around. I did not study. I grew even more fat and multiple things happened. Later, there's another thing that happened. Okay. Now, this was the major shifting point in my life, even bigger than that attempts. Okay, this major shifting point. This was the point where I created my first video, if you remember that long hair, you know, grayish skin color t-shirt or polo. I made a video, right? You remember that? The very first video on this channel where I talked about the success curvature and how negative phase affects. If you go see that video, I talked about one thing. That was a leaking ceiling. And that changed my life. So September, October of 2024, there was just abrupt rain, okay? Just thunderstorm level rain, okay? So much rain, it just doesn't stop, okay? To that point. And suddenly, we were just sleeping, me and my mom, and our ceiling starts to leak at random as night time. Like water drops falling on our head. And then we turn on the lights and we see entire house at different locations as that little drop on the ceiling. And we don't know what to do about it. So at night time, we shift the bed. Take all of those plastic things that, you have in those wheat bags that you usually store wheat in. Those plastic big bags, I cover the bed with it. And I shift the bed entirely from the leaking locations, and I set the buckets up at different position, different clothes, and I just don't even want to remember that time. What happened is that kept on going for 2 or 3 days, and we were complaining on the apartment chat group. Okay, so you have an apartment group. The apartment has a maintenance group. The apartment has a head who deals with all of the apartment problems. And this is an apartment problem. If I have my own house, then I have my own roof, okay? So I cannot deal with, my own capabilities. But here it's an apartment thing. You cannot break or make anything in apartment without taking the permission of the government or the apartment head. You cannot do anything. And so we constantly were chatting, and apartment head was really good guy. He agreed to help us at every point. But this was certain thing that the person who live above us also need to cooperate with. But he was the most shittiest guy ever possible in humanity. Okay, in humanity, you understand the level of things I have faced. And then we had no options. We faced these things, these things, this bucket things, this ceiling leaking went on for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Rain is just not stopping at that point. There are multiple houses filled. If you remember how atrocious the rain was in 2024, that particular time, in thunderstorm time. And I was just done. I was like, fuck the shit, bro. Fuck the shit. And we had to complain. We had to do a police complaint. Police came. We had to go to police station multiple times. Me and my mom in that rainy season on a scooter. Very weird time. And that time, we are sitting in the police station, all wet. That guy who lives above us comes in a good ass car door opening for him in a proper thing, an umbrella over his head, coming towards the police station with a guy, gets out like this. Simple. Not just that. The apartment has a big fight over this particular topic with that guy. The guy who lives above us. What do we call him? Let's call him Jacob or something, okay? Let's call him Jacob, okay? So this Jacob guy, his entire family is very rich. His entire family is having a whole entire business with over $1 million of revenue every year. So he's really doing very good in his life. And he has just this apartment as his, the security shit. And if you want to make any changes in this leaking roof, you have to go and check his apartment. You have to, tear down the ceilings in his apartment because there is a pipe leakage, okay, in his apartment. So you have to do it. And that's why we were requesting him that, if we can call a plumber, we can see where the spot is, we can fix it. We are facing much trouble. We cannot live like this. The water is leaking in the entire house. He is not picking up the call. I still remember he said that, I don't have fucking time for this small shit. That's what he said. And that's how this Jacob guy changed my entire life. And that point, I just, this might feel really shit. This might feel really childish. But this is the exact thing I felt at that point that, Aryan, you need fucking money. That's the only thing you need. You need some fucking money. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes difference. I don't need power. I don't need anything. I just want money. I just want my parents to chill. I just want my parents to have that luxury, to have all of those things they want in their life, all of those things that I want to give them. Next time my parents should not face this police station rounds, us getting wet. This is our problem and we are facing problems to have a police complaint. This is how shit Indian crime and Indian law and Indian police is. So I want my parents to go out of this country, to live different things that this world possesses, have different luxuries, face everything in their life. They have faced everything. Now I want them to even face luxury. A car, that opens the door for them. Anything they want, done. My mom, I saw her really struggling. I saw her with teary eyes at that point. Because me and my mom, my dad is, back in Mumbai in his work. In the city he works. He's there entire week. He cannot come. Me and my mom just dealing with this shit. Me, a degenerated person, I don't even know what the fuck am I doing with my life. At that point, I don't know what to do. I was helpless. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do. I was just a shit kid who doesn't know anything in his life. I felt helpless. And I still remember those situations, those visual appears in my head, and I'm like, that was the changing point, that I want to show that fucking Jacob that Aryan is some shit. And that day I realized that, my dad said that, in Aryan, there's no point to, be frightened of law. There's no point to be frightened of police or anything. And I said, Dad, it's all fair game, okay? But when you yourself are facing problems, when you yourself have to face all of these problems, even after complaining to the police, then there's some shitty system going on in this entire Indian culture. There's this shitty little corruption thing going in this entire Indian ecosystem, Indian system of police and crime and whatever you say, that there's something like this happening that we normal people are feared to even complain at this point. Okay, and I say, in a middle class person's life, it's a very proudful moment. It's a really, heart touching moment when you buy your very first house. That's your brick. Okay, you can stay in that house. That's your roof. I call roof, but that's your ceiling. Okay, that's how important it's to buy a house. It's to buy your own land for a middle class person like us. And you're really happy. You're really enjoying, and that's leak it starts. Nothing solved, bro. Nothing. Still it's leaking. My mom and dad will face it this year too. That's how shit it is. And I'm helpless even this year, by the way. It happened last year. It happened this year. It will happen this year, by the way. I'm just confirmed at this point. It just happens every year. Whenever there's rain, whenever there's thunderstorm, it happens. Simple. Because he's just not ready to solve the problem. The Jacob, he's never ready. He's rich, bro. He cannot say anything. He has his own bungalow. This apartment is just a secondary users apartment from him. So obviously, why would he spend his money on this one? Why would he even, he was just saying that, I'm not ready to open up my house for you. What if you bring in a plumber, you just tear this shit and you never fix it? So, you leave my apartment shit way. You don't live my apartment the furnished way it was earlier. And I have no answer. I was just to stand there and listen to that shit. And I hate 5 things, by the way: police, loan, cancer, divorce, and I guess court and anything like that. Loans, court, anything like that. I hate these things. And so whenever these particular names or these particular things come in my life, I stay away from them. It's just a thing I don't like. I don't like it for some reason. My dad said it's a really shit thing if you hate all of these things, but I say it's my point of view. I hate things. Simple. No proper answer, but I just hate these things. I'm a really simple guy, and I just want every fucking luxury that's possible in this world to my mom and dad. Simple. I'm ready to work hard now. I have developed from that guy. I read books, I read people. I first time learned through content. Instead of just wasting my mind, brain rotting myself by watching content, I first time in my life started to learn new things from, seeing content. And slowly over time, I was developing as a person. That's how it really happened. Instead of collapsing on my feet, this is the way I developed. Still, I haven't developed. I'm just no more a degenerate. That's the only thing. I haven't made a single penny. I'm no financial freedom guy. I have nothing in my life that's sort of an achievement after 2018-19. But yeah, this is just a story of lows maybe. But I have at least tackled degeneration at this point. I'm no more a degenerate. I'm no more successful. I have never been successful in my life. But yeah, I want to be successful. So yeah, that's it. That's my entire life story. That's how things changed. That's how things has been. Then I got into the shit college, which I want to get out of. Bye. Stay safe. Take care of your mom and dad. Take care of yourself. I have an exam tomorrow. I haven't slept for many days at this point. I don't know what the fuck am I doing. I'm trying to come up with some new brain developing idea or some big ass idea, but it just seems to go back and forth at times. I don't even know the exact words I want to use. That's how my brain is, okay, at this point. So yeah, there's no blood in my veins. I guess it's just pure coffee going in my veins. But yeah, I have tomorrow my exams, so I have to study for them and multiple things. So Bye, Jai Jinendra. Take care of yourself. Take care of mom and dad. Everyone, stay safe. Don't fall in troubles like me. Don't try to have this shit mentality. I was just a naive kid. Don't do any of those shits. Time comes, bad time goes. You stay the person you want to be. You become the person you want to be. Okay, that's it. Bye. Jai Jinendra. Stay safe. Take care of yourself.